Kayfun Mini version 2.1 by Ivogo. This is one of two items that was featured on the Shopping with Peg episode 5 international episode. And this one, okay, is a very sexy little item that we got from E-cig, and let's talk about it. So this is a very sleek and sexy little item that I picked up from E-cig, and it's definitely one of these items that's going to make you want to break out, like, your ego devices, or like, something of a vape pen type of battery. Over here, I have it sitting on my iTaste VV. What do you guys think of that? Pretty nice, right? Pretty reasonable setup. It's nice, slim, compact carry, very good for vacationing, very good for the wife. Okay, so I have a 1.9 coil built in here, and this thing right now, I'll tell you guys, really vapes like a dream. Let me show you some cool stuff about this thing, and let's take this apart. Alright guys, so I have her broken down over here, the Kayfun Mini, and we're going to go ahead and begin to build on this thing, okay? So the first thing that we need to do is go ahead and decide what kind of canthal that we should use for this kind of setup, okay? And in order to do that, we need to ask ourselves two questions. Number one, which is the screws that are over here, okay? So what kind of canthal gauge is going to sit best underneath these screws? And secondly, what kind of device that we're going to be using to power this thing. So most likely, for the sake of matching up the device, we're going to be using some kind of ego type device. So ego type devices, we need to build the coil more of in the mid-range level. Okay, so in order to do that, I feel as if the best gauge canthal is going to be 30 gauge. So that's what we're going to be using today. Now, I have my precision screwdrivers ready to go, and I'm just going to go ahead and then use the 2mm flathead. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and take the 30 gauge canthal and then cut a piece, and we are ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead, and over here we're going to do possibly let's say 8 wraps. Okay, 1, right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Okay. Now our 8 wraps is done. All right. What you want to do now is get like a plier, give it a little tug over here, give it a little tug, right, so it's a little more balanced. All right, now I'm going to bring out my tweezers, and I'm going to pinch the coil exactly as I need it to be. All right, so bring out my torch, heat it up. All right. Okay, now I'm letting it cool down. It's about enough time. I'm gonna go ahead and put my screwdriver back into it again, and then I'm gonna use the pliers to give it another tug. See that? Now it's nice and uniform. Okay. You could go ahead and torch it and pinch it again, but I don't think it's necessary. From here on, all right, let me show you exactly how to install this thing. We're going to need a Phillips screwdriver to slightly release the screws over here. Okay. Now we have the canthal on the screwdriver here, right? And then I'm going to place it over here. I'm going to wrap this around this way. And go ahead and give it 2 wraps. Okay. Now this is holding in place for me. And then I'm going to go ahead and tighten that down. All right. Now, this canthal is done. So I'm going to spin this around, bring this over here, Okay, I'm going to insert the screwdriver back into the coil again. Now go ahead and wrap it around this screw. Okay, and then maybe I'll use a plier this time. Okay, and then pull tight here, and then spin it around. There. Now all I have to do is tie this down. All right. There. Nice solid coil. Done quickly. All right. I'm going to go ahead and, because this is a smaller device, we should go ahead and make sure our coils are nicely tightened down. And then you could either cut them or you could spin them off. Spinning them off is always the cleanest, closest cut. But you have to make sure that the screws are tightened down very well. All right, so from here, turn this on and then give it a little check. Nope, that's not right. Something's wrong over here. 0.37 is not right. That means something is touching. So I want to go ahead and give it a little lift. Okay, let's check it one more time. 207. Okay, so we have a 2 ohm coil over here. Now, for the sake of working out hot spots and firing up your Canthal for the first time, so you could reduce a little bit of that fresh Canthal taste. Okay, 2.0 over here, and then go ahead and we fire her up a little bit. There we go. Okay, give the coil a little bit of a pinch to work out the hot spot. There she goes, firing very evenly now. Okay, now let's take her off the device and begin to wick this. Okay, I'm going to put this right back onto the deck. From a side view over here, okay, we got to make sure that the coil does not touch the rest of the body. Okay, because that's exactly what happened before, and I had that small short, and that's why I was reading 0.3 when it should actually be 0.2. All right, now time to do the wicking. Since cellular cotton, again, it's all the craze these days, I'm going to go ahead and do a cellular cotton setup. Okay. Now, you're going to see all sorts of videos telling you to keep the cotton nice and fluffy. Okay, I disagree. I think this is the perfect amount of cotton, and then we bring this up over here, and then twist it up, our bunny ears, and then we bring our chimney down. So make sure chimney is facing the right way. Okay, and then we're going to put this back on, just like rigging up any other Kayfun. Here we go. I'm going to screw this down. Okay, now from this point on, I probably want to give it about like 2 cm. Okay, and then chop right here. Okay. Now we take the flat head that we have, okay, and then we pack it down. Okay, just go ahead and pack it down. And try to give you a good idea of what it looks like. Okay. I'll show you exactly what I'm doing over here. All right. Let's check our coil again. Should be reading 2 ohms. Right, 2.1. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put the chimney back on. And then put on the lower part of the tank. Put on the upper part of the tank. Here's where I'm going to stop, okay? Now, along with your kit, there's going to be a small box of accessories, okay? The accessories that come with it, very, very cool. Very, very generous of them as well. It's going to come with a fill bottle so that, like, you know, you can put all sorts of juices over here. And the fill bottle has a head over here that is perfect for the fill hole at the bottom. Let me show you over here. There's a fill hole at the bottom over here after you release, and then you can stab with this and then fill the Kayfun Mini up. Okay, but you know, I'm not into filling tanks up all the way, and I don't really have patience to fill up a bottle just so that I could go ahead and fill up another bottle. So from this point right here, I'm just going to go ahead and fill my tank with a little bit of juice. Okay, and get my glass dropper. This is just one way of filling it. You don't necessarily have to do what I'm doing. Now, put this back on top. Okay. Drip tip over here. You might want to go ahead and give this thing a couple of primer puffs, and then once the air starts to taste a little bit sweet from the sweetener of different kind of juices, you know it's going to be ready to fire. So let's place this back on top of our Inokin VV. Okay. Move some stuff aside. There you go. How does that look? All right. Now, I'm going to show you some really cool bonus stuff. Okay, with me over here is your typical case for like basically any ego device, right? And basically, you know, you put your ego batteries and stuff like that over here. Basically, what I have over here is just a bottle of juice, and then, you know, your typical wall charger, and then, you know, the iTaste expansion that it comes with, right? So I just want to show you guys this thing real quick, right? Is that regardless if you're going to be, you know, purchasing this, you know, for your wife or your lady friend, or even for yourself as kind of like a travel device, I just want you to see like how awesome this little setup is over here. And basically, this is what I travel with, you know. Very small, very compact. I have my battery. I have, you know, a Kayfun Mini over here that performs just like a Kayfun. Some juice, all the power that I need. Close it up like this. You know, very, very small case, ready to go. Just something to consider. Okay, so that was the Kayfun Mini 2.1 by iVogo from E-cig. I pretty much recommend this item for the travel purpose, definitely, okay? Because, I mean, you could go get yourself a Pro Tank, you could go get yourself a E-cig, but then once you become up to a next level vapor, you kind of don't want to give up that whole, you know, Kayfun thing, you know, that you're so used to. So this way, you actually don't have to give up that Kayfun performance because it vapes exactly like it. So it comes with everything in the case, very generous, as I showed you earlier, even with a keychain that has the double-headed screwdrivers, a flathead and a Phillips head, beauty ring for the Ego 510 connection. What you should know about this thing, okay, is 2 things. Number 1, the airflow adjustment on this thing is small, okay, because it's a smaller device. So therefore, with a small turn, it's going to significantly adjust the airflow of this thing, okay? So you know, it's not like the regular Kayfun where 2 or 3 turns is going to, you know, adjust the airflow. This one, little bit is going to make that big difference. Secondly, is that do not mess around with the 510 connection on this thing, okay? Because it's a smaller device, a smaller architecture, the 510 connection, in my opinion, is basically set up for ego pen type devices perfectly. Although it will work with like your mechanicals and other things because, you know, those items have a floating 510 pin. But the way that it is set up right now, it's meant to connect very easily to all of your simple batteries. Okay, so until next time, question everything, do your homework, and take care of each other.